It was the summer of 1944, deep in the French countryside. The war had turned every field into a battlefield, and every mechanic into a miracle worker. Among them was Sergeant Frank Doyle, a 32-year-old tank mechanic from Detroit who'd once built hot rods before the draft pulled him into the Army. The men in his unit called him Mad Mechanic, not because he was angry, but because he'd try anything once if it meant getting a machine running again. That morning, the 3rd Armored Division had a problem. Their prized M4 Sherman tank, nicknamed Lucky 7, had thrown a track and blown a gearbox while retreating from a German ambush. The crew barely made it out alive. The tank now sat crippled in a ditch, half buried in mud, 30 miles behind enemy lines. Command ordered abandoned, but Frank had other ideas. "Sir, with respect," he told Captain Reynolds, "I can get her running again. She's got fight left in her." The captain sighed. "You've got 12 hours before we move out. After that, she's scrap metal." While the rest of the unit refueled and regrouped, Frank got to work. The smell of diesel and burned rubber hung heavy as he crawled beneath the tank. He had only a wrench set, a blowtorch, and whatever spare parts he could scavenge from nearby wrecks. His assistant, Private Lewis, a 19-year-old farm kid from Kansas, watched in disbelief as Frank started welding together pieces of 2 different tanks. "You're out of your mind, Sarge," Lewis muttered. "Maybe," Frank grinned, but so was Edison. Hour after hour, the Mad Mechanic tinkered. He swapped gears from a destroyed German Panzer, rigged the fuel pump from a truck engine, and even used the metal from a blown-out Jeep door to patch the hull. The sun dipped below the horizon as artillery thundered in the distance. By nightfall, his hands were bleeding, his face blackened with soot, but the tank was alive. When Frank finally hit the ignition, Lucky 7 roared back to life like a wounded beast refusing to die. The men nearby froze. Someone shouted, "No way, she's moving." The tank lurched forward, grinding through the mud, its mismatched armor plates glinting under the moonlight. But Frank wasn't done. Instead of heading back to base, he decided to push deeper toward the German lines. "She's got a second chance," he said. "Let's make it count." With Lewis riding shotgun, they used the patched-up Sherman to flank a German convoy that had been harassing their retreating troops. Frank's hybrid tank, half American, half German, ambushed the convoy from behind, firing rounds that sent the enemy scattering in confusion. By dawn, the field was littered with smoking wrecks. Lucky 7 had taken heavy damage again, but the American column was safe. Frank's insane gamble had bought his division enough time to regroup and push forward. When a unit caught up, Captain Reynolds stared in disbelief at the bullet-riddled, smoke-belching tank. "You're a damn lunatic, Doyle," he said. Frank just smiled, wiping grease from his cheek. "Told you she wasn't done yet." Word spread fast. Engineers from across the Allied lines came to see what Doyle had done. A Frankenstein tank that ran on patched wiring, stolen gears, and sheer willpower. His modifications later inspired new hybrid designs tested by military engineers after the war. After 1945, Frank returned to Detroit, opened a small repair shop, and hung a sign over the door that read, "Nothing's too broken to fix, ask the Mad Mechanic." He never became rich or famous, but his legend lived on in the motor pools and workshops of every young soldier who'd ever picked up a wrench. The tank Lucky 7 was eventually retired to a museum in Normandy, where a small plaque beneath it still reads, "Restored in battle by Sergeant Frank Doyle, the man who refused to abandon a machine with fight left in her." And every year, visiting engineers still shake their heads in disbelief, whispering the same words as Captain once did. "He was crazy,